Hey everybody, this is going to be the final video of today. 4 videos is a bit too much and obviously there's been a lot going on, but I wanted to just talk about the abilities for New Storm, the Pyramid X version. Obviously just want to talk about the design aspect. Even though that I am happy about the fact that there is a new character in, yes, it's the case, this is all very much Marvel Realm of Champions, so let's assume that this is one of the 4 horsemen, and as well that, Apocalypse has had his kind of way with Storm, not in that kind of way, but in a way that changes the appearance based on obviously the look, similar to what's been happening with Archangel, the way that obviously Apocalypse has manipulated and kind of enhanced the mutation. But obviously the design side of things, I like it because it does go to very much kind of Storm related style, especially with the headpiece. Now if you did want to check out the spotlight and don't want to watch this video, that's fine, go to the link in the description and click on the release notes and other information. I will be giving my own opinion a bit more, so hopefully people can get an idea of what I feel this champion is going to be like. This does seem like it's going to be similar to the the Sorcerer Supreme that's going to be put out next month, and that is that it's got a pre-fight ability. It seems like pre-fight abilities are making a bit of a resurgence, so that's really good to see in any case, because it does feel like we haven't got them. Tempest is something to look out for, and building prowess as well. I don't know if this is the same prowess that comes from doing the champion fight in 6.2.6 or any kind of link to it. I think it's separate than that, especially from what I've seen in the past. Obviously the champion is mutant and as well gets abilities like Ice Tempest, Lightning Tempest and Prowess. Not exactly like the Storm that we know in game, and it's kind of, I kind of treat this more to be like Pokemon, like an Alolan region Pokemon, because they have some different kinds of attributes than they would to the standard like Kanto region. That's a bit of a weird Pokemon analogy, but it does actually ring to be correct. Now I don't know if this champion has some kind of like Archangel meets Ant-Man type ability, but it looks like we can do some kind of offensive ability accuracy reduction, minus 100%, and as well do other things when it comes to good amounts of damage output, and the glancing side of things does mean it limits down, you know, certain types of damage from enemies. Pyramid X version of Storm seems to work quite well against champions that have stun immunity, actually turning stun if stun immune or purify stun into a passive stun, similar to what we've seen recently with Dr. Doom, and as well interacts quite nicely with things like physical resistance, so she's able to kind of like cut through quite nicely, especially with her energy damage. Also, if you're thinking of the options to go against this champion, Power Lock, Power Drain, Nullifying, you know, those are kind of some key aspects of champions to go against her. Now let's quickly talk about the pre-fight abilities. First and foremost, you start as default with Ice Tempest. It looks like you can choose Lightning Tempest. Both give very different things. Ice Tempest looks kind of cool because you can go against Iceman, and as well immunity to Cold Snap and Frostbite, which is pretty cool. And incoming basic attacks have a 60% chance to glance. Glancing hits cannot be critical and deal 50% reduced damage and suffer minus 100% ability accuracy. And then Lightning Tempest is decrease the potency of incoming shock effects by 100%, and each active prowess adds 2% chance to stun the opponent to hit for 0.9 seconds, max 16% chance, which isn't great. It isn't a huge amount of percentage, especially when you want to maybe do some stunning effects. But let's face it, at the end of the day, it's not really critical, and doing some more damage with this champion is more essential. And whether or not you find that Ice Tempest gives you an extensive or kind of increased amount when it comes to your kit, it only really applies for certain champions that do Cold Snap and Frostbite, which, let's face it, that's off the top of my head, Arcus and Iceman himself. Obviously, if there's any more, I apologize for missing them off. But look, that's not really the main thing that you would use that for, unless there was some node specific thing like Freezer Burn. It also looks like when you're knocked down, you can actually trigger off the opposite type of Tempest for 12 seconds. Which isn't too bad, especially if midway through the battle some aspects change. So whether or not you are looking to reduce down attacks, so obviously glance attacks, or which obviously that's more of a defensive aspect or defensive play. And then you've got Lightning Tempest, which is, I think, it feels like it's the more offensive side of things. So it's more of like a scrappy brawler type aspect to hitting out. Now there is a little bit of a developer note when it comes to how the prowess is built. Something to watch out for here is if any point during a special attack Storm hits 6 prowess, she'll become unblockable. If Storm is sitting on 5 prowess, then pushes her opponent over a bar of power during a special attack, she gains her 6th prowess and became unblockable. Midway through the special attack, Storm's SP1 utilizes the mechanic. So it's just finding out when's the best time to throw a special attack, and obviously that's kind of critical to note, especially when trying to do more damage or doing unblockable damage. Incredibly important to mention when obviously throwing special seems to be a kind of necessity to huge damage output, which as you can see here, increasing the next special attack damage by 40%. So SPs are going to do some major damage, but it needs to be a case you need to build your prowess to do the special. Obviously we know obviously how prowess works, but it's a case of like throwing the damage is going to be important, and as well how you scale that in with your SP throwing, it looks like it's going to be important as well. And it also looks like there's something funky when it comes to heavy attack. So charging a heavy attack creates a dormant prowess, which charges from 0 to 100%. Launching a special attack while charging a heavy attack converts its dormant prowess into a passive prowess, increasing the special attack damage by up to 100% based on how long the heavy attack was charged. So go into a parry, hold it on, fire off a big one. That's a weird thing to say, but yeah, that's similar to a lot of champions like your Beardo, like your Colossus, where it's all about charging that heavy attack. Yeah, okay, you could say Mordo as well, but there's definitely some other options out there that do similar things, which obviously the developer explains here about how that would work. Obviously, it's important to mention to kind of like work in conjunction with how the prowess is built. So each tempest generates 1 prowess, increasing this next special attack, but it's mainly here with that if Storm has 6 prowess effects active during a special attack, gain a passive unblockable for 1.8 seconds. So yeah, so like, you know, just kind of like try and balance that in with that, and do bear that in mind, because obviously you'll go unblockable. Now, like a good icy champion, which let's face it, she inflicts a passive slow for the duration of the special attack, preventing the effects of unstoppable and lowering evade ability accuracy. Well, a lot of champions seem to have this at the moment. With the natural class advantage cannot be slowed. Ice Tempest, each hit that contacts the opponent generates 1 prowess buff, increasing special attack damage by 10% for the remainder of the special attack. Additionally, the final hit inflicts a passive cold snap, dealing, wow, that's a nice amount of damage. Obviously, I'm not quite sure what this is based on, because obviously, depending on rarity, this will scale. Next up, SP2, and something that is kind of fun to see, like if you've seen the first X-Men film, when Toad meets lightning, yes, and as well, like, you know, the way that there's experiments and stuff, without going too much into it. If you've seen the first X-Men, you know when Toad meets lightning. So each hit from the SP2 gives a nice amount of shock damage over 9 seconds. If the opponent purifies any of these shock debuffs, deals a burst of instant shock damage, which look is really cool. Obviously, shock champions don't go up against them, but still, like, this champion does look really cool for debuff damage output. Lightning Tempest, if that is what is on, shock damage is increased up to 90% based on the opponent's current power. Additionally, each prowess reduces the opponent's defensive power rate by 25% up to a max of 100%. So obviously, hitting out the opponent if they've got a lot of power is kind of a good thing to do. And quite simply, by launching the SP3, Storm gains both Tempests. Each Tempest provides 1 prowess whenever either champion gains a bar of power. If players can keep both Tempests up through an entire fight, Storm potential damage, special attack damage is doubled. That's going to be some incredible amount of damage, and man, I'll look forward to doing that. And the final thing is, while below 30% of her maximum health, Storm activates both Tempests. So that's the thing, you'll be playing the champion with low health in order to absolutely devastate. There could be some amazing yellow numbers that could be produced, not to mention some high amounts of debuff damage. I'm pretty pumped and I'm pretty excited about this champion coming out very soon. There's also all manner of different synergies to sink your teeth into that are going to be beneficial for champions we're still yet to see, and as well those that are currently in games. This is really exciting. Of the two, I'm really looking forward to Storm. I really think this is going to be an amazing champion with amazing potential with damage output. What we've seen with the debuff side of things is going to be like a Namor but meets Storm, meets Colossus in that kind of building of prowess or building in general, but also playing the champion at low health, which is not always something I like, and especially with Mole Man being put in, it was more of an encouragement, play at low health, but at the same time you don't have to play with double tempests on. And yeah, I'm really excited for what this champion is going to be able to do. I've put out a lot of content today. I don't normally plan to put out 4 videos a day, but obviously there's been a lot of news to cover, so do check out some of the content up here. Also check out some of the other links down here, and I'll see you tonight for a stream, little bit of Call of Duty Warzones on Twitch, and then finally we're doing some MCOC on the second channel. Hope to see you there. Bye bye for now.